Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. I almost forgot my own punchline. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, and I welcome you to this live. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into this. Man, it is Valentine's Day here in the US. Wherever you are in the world, if you celebrate it, maybe you can throw it in the comments and let us know you celebrate and where you are tuning in from. Jenny, how are you? Welcome. I'm sorry. I'm glad you are up. I'm sorry. It's a little late. I was so busy all day today, and I have a good one for. It's a different one for you tonight. So, if you're coming in live, let me know if you celebrate Valentine, and if you're coming in replay, let me know if you celebrate Valentine. Because some people don't. Some people don't. So. I like, so to give you a little background, I like to dig into holidays. I like doing that. I like to find out like the origins, right? Like what happened, like how did this come about? Like who decided that there's going to be a Valentine's Day, right? I so appreciate that, Jenny. Thank you so much. You have no idea. Thank you, Love Day. I like that too. Oh, already I'm getting stars. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I like to dig into holidays. I actually have done a live on Valentine's about 3 years ago. And I kind of forgot about the origins myself. So I dug into it. That's why it took me a little bit, because I had to dig in and get some stats and do some research and put it all together. And I got a good live for you guys. So like my man Jim Rohn used to say, if you're ready, say I'm ready. I even wore red for you. You see what I'm saying? I even wore red. That's how deep into this thing I am. So Valentine's Day. First of all, Valentine's Day is a big day in the US. I think I ran the stats. I think somewhere close to over $19 billion in sales is done in one day in US. That's with a B. It's a very big deal, especially as far as the business is concerned, right? There's a huge. So, but the origin is gonna surprise you. The origin is really gonna surprise you, because when I found out about the origin, it was really surprising to me, because I had never thought in a million years. It's really neat, but it's pretty cool. Yes, I was just gonna say that. Jenny, that was awesome. I'm actually glad you shared that. So most think that Valentine's Day is a Christian holiday, and it's because of because of a Christian saint. And that is mostly not true. Isn't that crazy? That is mostly not true. So mostly. Some, but not mostly. So I'm going to share with you, this is really cool. So there's a lot of Greek stuff in here. So this is actually going to be a challenging live for myself. So bear with me with some of the names, okay? So the Roman Catholic Church, I know the sad face. The Roman Catholic Church wanted to Christianize Lupercalia. Now, Lupercalia was a festival in honor of Lupicus, which was god of fertility. Okay. This would come every spring, and the whole thing was it would pair men and women up for one day. right? Now, this was usually celebrated on the 15th of February. And you're probably thinking already, you're like, wait a minute. I thought Valentine was on the 14th. It is. Stay tuned. Lupercalia began with sacrificing dogs and goats. And the reason why they sacrificed the dogs and goats, thank you, Jenny, I appreciate it. I learned something new in my lives too. So Lupercalia began in that day, they began the day with sacrificing dogs and goats. Now, why did they sacrifice dogs and goats? Because back in the day, dogs and goats were known to be strongest as far as sexual instincts were concerned. So they would sacrifice dogs and goats, and men would take their skin and make themselves little trunks. And they would wear these trunks and they would walk around, thongs, right? And they would walk around with bare skin and they would just have these thongs on. I know, I'm sorry. It's not gonna be a bad ending though. It's not gonna be a bad ending. So I know. It's like one of those holidays. I know. I felt the same exact way when I started to read into Valentine's Day. I was like, really? That's like horrible. Oh my God. So these men would wear these thongs that they made from the skin of the dogs and the goats. And they would walk around and they would throw a whip. Yeah, I know. They would throw a whip at the women so that women would catch fertility. You feel me? So some women, it's told that women would line up and would really just like push to get that whip because they wanted to get fertile. Right? So Lupercalia is attached to an ancient Greek festival called, oh boy, Arcadian Lycae. And it's basically worship of Pan. Now, who's Pan, right? Have you seen Step Brothers? Anybody who's seen Step Brothers? One of my favorite movies. There's a scene in there, the Pam story. Never mind. If you haven't seen it, it won't make any sense. I digress. Who's Pan? Pan is the Greek god, and it basically traces back to Bel, which traces back to god of horn or Nimrod. Okay, so basically, Lupercalia was a festival to honor Nimrod in its Roman form. Oh, you did? You got pregnant? That's fun. It's not gonna be bad. I promise. It's gonna end. I think it's gonna end well. So, month of February was sacred to Juno, also known as. Are you ready for this? Month of February was sacred to Juno, who was also referred as Februata. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Which was goddess of fever of love, marriage, and women. February 14th was her festival day. Men, get this, men, this is Roman, now this is not Lupercalia, right? This is the Roman version of it. Men would get these boxes and they would have names of women in there. So they would draw names that they could just be with for that day, right? Now, on some occasions, this would turn out to be a relationship, and on very rare occasions, this would turn out to be a marriage, right? That's that whole one day. But in most cases, it was just there for fertility, that day just for fertility. Okay. Now, that's a little background on the festivals. Now, what happens to Valentine's Day? What's going on there? It's said that it comes from, get this, Roman Emperor Claudius II imposed the ban on marriages because why? Because single men would go run and get married real quick because married men wouldn't be taken to war. So single men would just run to get married just to avoid going to war. So Claudius II comes in and says, you know what? No, we can't do that. Can't do that. We can't. No, we're going to ban this, right? So when the Roman, and there was a talk about a Roman priest. I know, isn't this interesting? Oh, exactly. One night stand. I was gonna say it, but you took it. I'm actually glad you said it. One night stand came from back in the day, folks. It's very possible. So that's funny. I was thinking the same thing. There was a talk. Now here comes the Valentine Day part, right? So Roman Emperor comes in, bans this whole marriage thing, says you guys just can't get married just to avoid war, right? So in midst of all this stuff, there's a Roman priest, Roman priest that turned Christian. Okay, this is back in the whole situation day, and his name was Valentinus of Tournai. Now, rumor has it that he used to run around and marry Christians together in hidings. Because remember, you couldn't be, right? And rumor has it that he had a ring, and the ring had a cupid on it. And get this whole ring thing gets him in trouble. In fact, it gets them in so much trouble that people recognize it. Like everybody talks about him. So like the guy with the Cupid ring, right? So eventually they catch him, they put him in prison, they torture the guy, and eventually they behead the guy. All over that ring, right? But while in prison, he falls in love with some girl. Valentinus, the pastor, the preacher, if you would, he falls in love with this girl. And rumor has it that this girl was the daughter of one of his guards. I know, isn't this good? This is so good. I love telling this story. And I'm trying to not to look at my notes as much as I can, just to remember, just make sure I do the names correctly. So this is a really cool story. So he falls in love with this girl, and the rumor has it that this is a daughter of his guard in prison, right? And the rumor has it that he starts writing to her. You can see where this is going, right? Starts writing to her, guard finds out, everybody finds out, not good news for our priest. Well, right before he is beheaded in this situation, right before he's beheaded, he writes the last letter to this girl, okay? And he signs it off by saying, "From your Valentine." Isn't that cool? That's the reason why, still to this day, you and I write, "From your Valentine." That's where it comes from. How cool is that, right? Now, he was beheaded on February 14th, 269 AD. Now, after, I got a couple more good, really good stuff. After the Romans adopted Christianity, the Roman Catholic made changes, not in favor of Lupercalia. Remember, this whole thing started with Lupercalia, that festival for fertility, right? So it's all like, this is not good. We cannot have this, right? So 5th century Pope, oh boy, Gelasius, I think I did good, made February 14th a holiday in honor of Valentinus. But wait, it gets even better. You know how they do the red rose and the Cupid thing? I'm going to tell you where those come from. So the red rose, Venus was Roman goddess of beauty, love, fertility, even prostitution. Venus was. And Venus was the mom of Cupid. Yeah, oh my God, yeah, that's horrible. Venus, that is true. Jenny, that's true. Venus was the mom of Cupid. Now, Cupid, red rose, get it? Cupid, red rose, love. Valentine's Day became associated with love in honor of Venus. Valentine's Day became associated with love in honor of Venus. Red roses synonymous with Venus. Get it? Venus, red roses, that's what it means. Red rose, Venus. Isn't that cool? That's cool, right? That's cool. Now let me tell you the Cupid thing. I'll wrap up with Cupid. Cupid is actually a pagan god. Did you even know that? I didn't know that. Pagan god. So it's basically the Roman counterpart of Eros. Now, who's Eros? Eros was Greek god of love and desire. I'm getting confused with so many gods. Greek god of love and desire. Now, Cupid was this. Get this. Okay, this is so good. It's just gonna give it all together, right? Cupid was the son of Venus, red roses, right? Venus, red roses, and Mercury, which was a winged messenger of God. Okay, it just had wings, winged messenger of God. So oftentimes, Cupid appeared as a winged infant carrying a bow and a quiver of what? Arrow. Get it? Oh, so cool, right? Now get this. Cupid is said to shoot a magical gold tip arrow at both gods and humans. And when he does that, when he pierces their hearts, it causes people to fall in love. How cool is that? I know this is very, very crazy how we celebrate today. I don't think a lot of people know. Yeah. But I think it's really interesting, like how this all, like Cupid, red rose, and Valentinus, and I think it's really interesting. The whole prison story with the ring, I think it's it's kind of it's crazy, right? Crazy. Now, I'll share this with you. If you have somebody special in your life, and you're waiting year to year for Valentine's Day to get them like roses and chocolate and gifts and treat them like to dinner or cook him something or get him gifts and stuff, then you're probably like missing the whole like boat, you know? You shouldn't be waiting like year to year to do this. It doesn't have to be an announced holiday for you to like do stuff like that, right? Your dog, my dog was my Valentine for many years, so it's probably the best Valentine I ever had, to be honest with you. So you shouldn't wait for a whole year. And I've talked about this on Christmas and Thanksgiving. This is one of my things I talk about. But you got to let that person know on a daily basis. Now, I'm not saying every day buy chocolate, roses, jewelry, take them out to dinner. No, but every day they should know that they are special in your life. You know, so simple gestures, compliments, give them some love, or, you know, it's not like there's a, it's not like it's a manual script on how to build a spaceship. It's pretty simple stuff, right? I mean, you already know the stuff that feels good to you probably feels good to them. I mean, you could start there. That's what I often say to people. Like, where do I start? I go, what feels good to you? This. Do that. I mean, you know what I mean? Whatever feels good to you, do that, right? Say that. If it feels good to you, say that. And then just go with that, you know, start there. But you shouldn't wait every day. You should let your person know they're special to you every day. And find reasons to let them know that they are special to you every day. And I think that's super important. So hopefully you guys got some love. You don't need to spend a whole heck of a lot of cash. You know, it's funny you say that, because some of the precious gifts that I have, and it doesn't have to come from a Valentine person, but it has too. Some of the most precious gifts that I have didn't cost a lot, actually. And you probably will say the same thing in your life. You'll probably say, yeah, you know, that's probably true. You know, and it's like sometimes it's not that. You know, you don't have to wait for that big, massive. You know, every day could be an opportunity to do that. So be thankful, grateful, and show some love every day. Why not? You know, why not? Why not? It won't. You don't have to wait a whole year. I'm telling you, you don't. But up the notch. You know what I mean? Just go all the way out, like, you know, this day. But, you know, give love every day. So hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value from this crazy little story from the history of Valentine's Day. Drop your thoughts. I'm going to go back and read Jenny's and respond back. And I appreciate you guys. If you feel like this was worthy of sharing, hey, if you got a significant other and they weren't on this live, I'm just saying, you know, tag them to this or share it on your wall. Do what you got to do. And I am Sean Azimi with Side Gig Sean, signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.